Hello, welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help. I'm James Lott Jr., your host, and I'm so happy we have a dog in the background, which is this is the new normal, you guys. We're all quarantined because I can't have my beautiful guest with me in studio like I normally do. But we're doing this from her lovely home, my lovely home. She is a model, a TV personality that I first saw her on Amazing Race a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago or so at this point.
That was a while
Where she
ago.
did that, which I have so many questions, girl, about that. And she's on the upcoming MTV. This is the 35th season
I
of
know. It's
MTV's
been
The
on,
Challenge. Jenn Lee.
literally been on since forever. Like, wow.
So how you
So,
doing? Do you like being called Jennifer, Jen, Jenny? What do you like being called, girl?
Jen is like Jennifer is like my professional on paper, or when I'm in trouble, I'm like, oh crap, Jennifer, I'm in trouble. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can call me Jen.
Okay, Jen, I'll call you Jen. So I'll call you Jen. So welcome to the show. We'll get to Basic Race in a second too, but so the challenge, it actually premieres April 1st, so it appears on MTV. I'm a little older than you are. I remember when it was the Road Rules Real World Challenge, like a long time ago, season 1.
I saw
Like,
it when
isn't that crazy?
yeah, I know. I'm like, it's crazy because I used to watch it and I was like, damn, that's badass. And now I'm on it. I'm
I
like,
know.
what?
And you're on with some all-stars. I mean, some folks that were, killer contestants on past challenge seasons. I've seen almost every season just about. And it's like, there's some good folks on there.
Oh yeah. Like OGs, like real big dudes.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second, but we're gonna indulge my Amazing Race fantasies right now. So I watched your season and everything, and one of the things I always wanted to ask, because it's the best reality show on television, just about.
I agree.
The
I mean,
booking,
I can't say that, but
and like I said, but the challenge is great too, and that's why you're on it. And it's gonna be good. And it's a long institution, obviously, but it's
yeah.
Amazing Race. It's a really fun one because it's around the world and you're going different places and stuff. How I see it on, I see it every scene, every season, booking the tickets and stuff. How does that really work?
How does that work? Everyone asks. So the logistics about when you're filming, it's so crazy because I'm a super fan of the show. I've literally watched like almost every season. And
Right there.
so when we actually started filming, I was like, wait, this is how you do it. This is different. Like, like there's so many behind the scene things that you don't see on television. Like one of the things is you're not a team of two. It's not you and your partner. It's you, your partner, your camera guy, and your sound guy. And so let's say you're running super fast, but if your camera guy and sound guy can't keep up, you have to wait. You can't run away. Like,
Yeah, you can't run away. Yeah.
so things like that, there's so many different things. But when it comes to booking tickets, it really depends on that episode. So if they're like, go to a travel agent, literally it's based off what the travel agent gives you. Or if it's like, okay, there's 2 flights for this leg, whoever makes it first, the first 5 teams get on this flight. That's already like pre-reserved.
Wow.
And so it really depends on what that leg entails.
So it's
But
pretty true to what we see on TV. Then it's pretty true to
yeah, it's pretty true to what you see. The only thing is like, it's really difficult because you have to be like stuck with your partner the whole time. So like, let's say we're looking for something. I'm like, you look over there and I'll look over here. You got to do everything together. So it's like, some people are like, why don't you guys just split it up and look for it? I'm like,
right.
no, it doesn't work like that.
Oh,
So
and you can't because the camera guy can go 2 places, right?
no. So you have to do everything together. You have to run both this way. You guys can't run that way. Like, it doesn't work like that. So
That's actually I never thought. I didn't know that because I'm like, that makes sense because I used to say that. Like, well, then you go over there. And it's like, but no, if you have a 2-person production team with you, they can't just separate.
no, you can't like split the camera in half and film both of you. Like, it doesn't work like that. Or like, it's crazy. Like, I'm used to, while I'm running or something, I'll just blurt out like, where is it? Or something. And if someone responds, you have to stop because they now are a part of the show and need to sign like a waiver or whatever.
Yeah.
So I learned that the hard way because, if you're running down the street asking random people standing by for directions,
Right.
You gotta stop. That's
Right.
wasting your time.
Interesting. I never thought that either. So I'm learning some stuff today, kids. I didn't. I mean,
There's
that's
a lot
interesting.
of logistics behind it. And everyone's like, why didn't you do this? I'm like, because you can't.
Yeah, that's interesting. So with the two-person production with you, do you guys become friendly kind of because they're with you the whole time, right? I mean, do you have to ignore them? You have to ignore them for the cam. I mean, for obviously for the camera.
Yeah,
But
obviously when you're filming, you
right,
can't be
right.
like, so how's your day going?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, like they're just a fly on the wall. So you're just doing you and they're just doing them. Like,
It must be
yeah.
I would love to interview actually one of them one day. That'd be very interesting to see how their
Oh, man,
world works.
we have stories for days,
I'm
like for
sure.
days.
Oh my goodness. Now I always fancied myself as a person. I could do Amazing Race. Sure, why not? I could think I could do it.
The Amazing Race.
Oh yeah, I can. If you, I mean, I could do it, right? I mean, whatever. I find it very interesting because you really do travel the world. What was one of the places you went to that you were just like, this is really? I mean, they're all amazing. But like, this was really amazing for you personally.
I think so going to Panama was cool, but obviously it wasn't my ideal situation of what happened. But I will say the one point when we were super, super, super lost, we were deep, like in like this jungle mountain area. And first I was freaking out internally because I was like, oh my God, we're gonna lose. We're so lost. But then I took a second to breathe and look around and I was like, oh my gosh, we are so remote in like a jungle in Panama right now. Like, this is so crazy. Like, how are we here right now? And we're filming a show. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy though, because when you're running the race, you're really not thinking of your surroundings. Everyone's like, oh my God, you
That's
got to
good. Yeah, you can't. You can't.
yeah, you're like, you went to XYZ, like, how was it? And you're like, I don't know. I was so focused on like doing my task that I have no idea, except for like the split second you like go out of it for a second and you look around and you're just like, wow, this is crazy.
I imagine that actually. I mean, it looks like that. I'm thinking they don't have a chance to really. That's why they give away trips sometimes for some of the legs, so you can actually
And
go
you can actually enjoy it,
right,
'cause
enjoy it.
you're running, you're stressed out, you're probably hungry, you're probably really tired because we're filming in real time. Like
Yeah.
there's no like day break between the episodes. Like it's go next, like bye. Like your next leg starts in 5 hours. Those 5 hours you should probably be sleeping and we're gonna start filming in 5 hours.
I was going to ask
So
you, on the planes when you have a long distance to go, you probably fall asleep on there too, don't you?
no, because that's when people use that to strategize.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like your downtime to really think and like make connections with other teams. Like people are utilizing that time for strategy, not for sleeping. Like sleeping is for losers. Like you don't do that.
I like that. No, that makes sense. Okay, because you're actually in a space, you're seated, you're not having to run anywhere. So now's your time to kind of regroup and go, okay, what's going
Yeah.
on? Where are we? We're number 4 in the pack. And do we want to stay in the
Yeah.
middle? That kind of stuff.
What's our strategy? How should we do the next leg, etc. It's not like, oh, cool, like let's go sleep now. No. It doesn't work like that.
So your partner and you had some challenges.
Yes.
Had some challenges on the race. But I always I feel like though when you're in a heightened sense of this, everything's heightened, isn't it? Right?
Oh,
It just
crazy.
any little thing would.
Real.
So things you probably wouldn't have gotten upset about in just regular life kind of gets big, right? In that situation.
Well, that's the thing. So going into it, I did not want to fight with my partner. Like I didn't know who my partner was going to be. And I am pretty non-confrontational and I bit my tongue a lot. There were a lot of times that like stuff that wasn't on air,
Yeah.
where I was like, oh my God, like what the hell? But I definitely bit my tongue because I didn't want it on camera of me screaming at him or like, you know what I mean? Like that's just not who I really am. And when you're put in a situation like that, you act that way. But I honestly feel like I should have just let it out because I feel like it would have maybe, I guess, made us like communicate better rather than me just
Okay.
holding it in like, okay, like that was really stupid or like whatever. I should have just told him, you know? And I think that's kind of what hurt us in the long run. Like, because I was more of a super fan of the show and he's never seen a full season. So like I knew everything that was going on and he's just there. And so I feel like I should have guided him more and been like, that's dumb. We're doing this. But I didn't want to be mean because I didn't know him. We just met, you
That
know?
was strange. That season was so interesting. That was very interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever talk anymore at all? Do you guys ever talk?
You know what's funny? We are all in a group chat and literally someone just said something in the group chat this morning. So crazy.
Oh, funny. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. That's good.
We're still friends. Like, you know, I feel like the whole cast, you know, when we're in sequester together or, you know, from the reunions, like we've, you know, all bonded. And so, yeah, I feel like we're all still like, no one hates each other. We still
Good.
check in, you know.
I feel like it's like a almost like a sorority / fraternity of God.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
It's like a club. It's like a secret club.
Yes. Yeah. We have a shared experience that not many folks have.
No one, like, unless you've done it, like, no, you don't know what it's like. You don't know how stressful it is and how, like, oh my gosh, yeah. So it's like, you know, a bonding experience.
So let's talk about the challenge because this is even
Yes.
harder and different. Well, I'll say harder. It's just different than Amazing Race. These are actually
different. Extremely different.
yeah.
Polar opposites.
Oh my God. Well, so how did you come across? How did this come into your orbit? How did the show come into your orbit?
I feel like MTV has reached out to me a couple times after they've seen me on Race. Asked me to do a couple other shows. I said no.
You
But when asked to do,
you went spilling any tea, any shows you said no to? No.
no,
Just kidding. I'll sip my tea over here. Just kidding.
like, yeah, you go sip your tea over there.
Yeah, over there. Yeah.
So they did reach out to me and I immediately was like, oh my God, no way. The challenge, like, that's so cool.
Right.
And I'm super competitive. And when do you get to do these crazy challenges besides like on a television show? Like that's what initially drew me to the race. You get to compete in these crazy challenges and you get to travel. But for me, the challenge, it was, I guess, similar minus the traveling aspect. So it was like the challenges, but I knew it was going to be a lot harder. Like it is a tough.
It looks like it. I'm like, it looks like it.
Like it takes a lot of like strength. And so
you said yes.
I feel like
you said yes.
Hell yeah, sign me up. I was like, I'm in. And immediately I was like, oh crap, I should probably work out 20 times harder.
I was gonna ask you, do you have to prepare? Do you have to prepare for it? Do they put you through a testing or anything like for stamina or stuff? No.
Nope. If you're weak, you're weak. They don't care. Like it's just you had to take it upon yourself and train. And I did because I was scared because watching the show, it's not just like, oh, this wheelbarrow of potatoes over there. It's not like that. It's like you're climbing, you're swimming, you're falling out of planes. You're like, it's like military style competition. And it's like a lot of grunt work. You're like rolling in mud under barbed wire, like crazy stuff. And so I was like, okay, I gotta toughen up, you know, like.
So what you do? What sort of things you did to prepare in terms of?
So to prepare, I started training with a trainer.
Okay.
I told him I really need to build strength because that's not my strong suit. I would say compared to a lot of cast members I've seen on the show previously because I didn't know who I was competing against.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
So it was just me like speculating from watching show after show. I realized I'm probably smaller than a lot of them.
Okay.
And
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I'm thinking of some of the cast. Yeah.
I'm probably a lot smaller, and the ones that have been doing it, they definitely have a leg up because they're used to doing these crazy challenges. Like my body is not used to like carrying like 100-pound barrels across a field. Like but they're used to that. So they get how to train, and they also know each other. So they have like a political strategy, where I'm going in like, I know no one. And so I was like, okay, I need to at least like play to my strengths. I like to run. So I was running like 5 miles a day on top of doing other training, because I knew that's one thing that I'm good at. Swimming, I was doing like basically anything active. I was doing like 2-a-days. I was always hiking and then doing some sort of workout. So I was just working out and eating so much protein when I was training for the show.
I'm sure. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I see it, girl. I see it. I love it. Now, how did you prepare? How did you prepare mentally? Because I know half of it is mental. I mean, I know the physical stuff is physical, it's there, but it's that mental tenacity to handle that physical stuff, right?
That's a thing. That's something you can't really prepare for, because you don't know where you're going. You don't know your living situation, especially this season.
Yes, I've heard.
Yeah, literally this season in a bunker, no windows, no doors,
no fancy house, no big place everybody's gonna be in. Nope.
And like, it's funny because going in, a lot of the cast were like, wow, we feel bad for you. And I was like, why? And they're like, normally we're in a mansion by a beach with a pool and getting drunk by the pool all day. And now we're like in this really scary dungeon looking bunker, like literally a military bunker. No clocks. You have no idea what time it is. It felt like being us in quarantine right now, but like heightened because of the competitive aspect. So everyone's kind of like on edge because no one's safe.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, and of course you're cut off from the outside world. I can't be like texting my best friends like, "Hey, this sucks," or "I'm freaking out."
I look at like Big Brother, these are show Survivor. I'm like, how is that? Do you go through a detox knowing for like the first couple of days? Like, what do you go through?
You mean like when you come out of it, or like?
No, I'm sorry. Well, there's that. That's a good question too. Okay, when you first go into a reality show and they cut you off from the world, how do you go through like withdrawal? That's what I'm saying. You go through withdrawals, like, oh my God, I need a phone, I need something.
I mean, yeah, like my phone is usually like in my hand.
I don't mind too. I was like, it's right here. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Like, where's my phone? Oh yeah, right here. And so in the beginning, I remember we were, at LAX, and they're like, we're gonna start filming. Give us your phones. And I was like, wait, let me text my mom real quick.
Right, exactly.
But like most of the cast who've done it so many times, they're like, here, take my phone. I don't care. Like, I don't need this thing. And for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's like my safety net because I don't know anyone. Right. And so, yeah, I would say like when they first cut you off, I definitely was like, wow, this is crazy. But that's when the game has begun, because now we're filming and now we're playing the game. So I kind of just dove right in and just started trying to mingle with everyone and, strategy.
Yeah. Now, so now, because you brought up a good question. Now, what's it like when you first come back to the real world? Like, do you have like 20,000 messages? Do you have 8,000 emails? Like, how's that feel?
It's crazy. It's like, you're like, whoa, this is weird. Who am I? What did I just do? And no one knows what you were doing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's right. It hasn't aired yet. That's right. It
hasn't aired, and you can't tell anyone what you're doing. Right. And so you have to keep it a secret. You just kind of have to, like, all my friends are like, where were you? I'm like, oh, I just like, yeah. And they're like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you can't like even talk about it with anyone because you signed an NDA. Like you come back and you're like, this is so weird. Like, I'm back in real life and I have
must be a trip. Must be a trip. I mean, that's like that's I think
what just happened. Like, I literally stepped foot in my apartment and I was like, what just happened? Like, that's crazy.
That's how you're describing how I'd imagine it would be. I mean, you're describing it completely honestly. What
I think how you're gonna feel when we're done with this COVID-19.
I know.
You can go outside again.
I know. I've been home 10 days. I mean, I have not gone anywhere in 10 days. I haven't hugged anybody in the month of March. I mean, like, okay. Exactly. I haven't done any of that. So when we first start to hug again, I'm like, oh, I gotta hug on to you forever.
Yeah. it's kind of similar to that, I guess. We haven't experienced that yet because we're still in lockdown.
We're still locked down. Yeah.
It's surreal, especially because you can't talk about it. So it's like, okay, I'll just keep my thoughts to myself over here. Cool.
It's so crazy. What did you learn about yourself? Okay, a two-part question for each show. For each show, what did you learn about yourself after your experience? Amazing Race and with the challenge.
Wow. So we'll start with the challenge.
Okay.
With the challenge, I learned that I really love my alone time.
Wow.
Yeah, because I have always lived alone, besides when I was growing up living with my family, of course, or like in college when you're like forced to dorm and whatever.
Yeah.
I am a very extroverted social person, but I also need Jen time. Like, get away from me, no one talk to me, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I just need to like do me for a second.
Yeah.
But when you're in a bunker with 27 other people, you don't get your alone time.
Crazy.
At all. And you're mic'd. There's hidden mics. There's cameras rolling at all times. And I know this. Like, I'm like, okay, like, I'm literally not alone. I could be the only person in this room right now, but there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn that on the challenge. And I'm like, wow, I really appreciate my alone time.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because race was different. It was, yes, you were filming, but most of the time it was you and your team, your camera, sound, and your partner, because you're not always with other teams. Like if you're driving somewhere, it's just you four, and it's not like you're living together. It's totally different. It's like a on the go, where here it's like the real world. We're living in a house together. Yeah. And I've never done that. So I was like, whoa, this is nuts.
Do you come from a big family or a small one?
Like I have an older brother, and so like my mom and dad, so I guess like medium, normal size.
Normal size. Okay, so you didn't have like I come from like 8. So that's what I'm saying. I come from a big family.
Oh, fun. Yeah, so you're used to it. You're used to having all these people everywhere.
I like my alone time too. I understand that. And then with Amazing Race, what did you learn about yourself when you came out of there? What's one of the things you learned about yourself?
Oh, what did I learn? I learned that I should speak up.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm mad, I should be like, yo, I'm mad. Or if I feel like you're doing something wrong, I should just tell you that's wrong, versus letting it happen and biting my tongue and then not winning. Like I should have just said it, word vomit.
That's a good lesson. That's a good lesson for anybody. Just like you feel emotion, get it out.
Yeah,
don't just be afraid. Don't be afraid. And you can work with that. When you don't say anything, I always say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So when you don't say nothing.
True that. So true. No one will know. No one can read your mind. So but at the same time, at the time I was, in my head about like, don't say anything crazy because this is televised, and it was my first TV experience.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like shown screaming at my partner that I just met. Yeah, so I was like, okay, but lesson learned, just do you. Just do you.
I love that. Jen, you are a delight. And it was a pleasure to meet you meet you.
Yeah, virtually.
Yeah, virtually. You'll be in person one day. You'll be in person one day. You'll be doing more things. And one day we'll meet in person. This is all like back in order. But I'll be rooting for you. I'm gonna be rooting for you, girl.
Thank you.
I'm following on Instagram now, so I'm gonna make sure I can comment and tweet and everything. I'm gonna do all that stuff. So make sure we're
rooting. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Excited.
I can't wait for you guys to watch. It's gonna be insane. It's the craziest season they've done so far. And the challenge is already pretty crazy. And season 35 is the craziest.
I'm so excited. And you guys, April 1st. April 1st is when it comes out. MTV, check your local listings wherever you have MTV at. Jen, tell me where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at JENNLEEZY, Jenn Lee. My Twitter is a different handle. It's _JENNLEE_. And then TikTok is Jenn Lee. The same.
You're on TikTok. Okay, I'm gonna follow you on TikTok.
I'm just figuring it out. So I'm like,
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hooked on it. I can't help it. I love it.
I
And
love watching other people's videos, but I don't know if I'm like all that great at posting my own quite yet. I'm figuring it out.
you'll get there. And folks, this is a lot of help with James Lott Jr. You can follow us on every platform you can think of. We're everywhere, all across the world. Anything where this is streaming, where this is saying, go to JLJ Media on YouTube. It's there also. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. And we'll see you next time. Stay safe and sane.